2 cents. Remembering Ashli Babbitt. On January 6, 2021, supposedly 80,000 Trump supporters should have arrived for a march on the Capitol to protest an election that they believed firmly in their hearts and from everything they saw was stolen. The authorities were notified. They were requested to have good security in place, but they didn't. In fact, 195 officers were assigned to the Capitol building for its defense. 195 from a pool of over 2,000 that the $5 million budget catered to. Well, 80,000 people didn't turn up. It was between 10 and 30,000 protesters that arrived there in the Capitol. And they marched on the Capitol, and maybe it seems like about 2,000 reached the Capitol. No firearms were found on any of the protesters. The weapons were cell phone, flags. Some were specifically dressed, and among the Proud Boys, there were some baseball bats. The only shot fired was by the officer, which I prefer to leave unnamed, who claimed it was his last means of defense. No warning shot, just claimed that he was shouting for them to turn back while he wore his COVID mask, and this was through a closed door. In any event, he shot Ashli Babbitt, supposedly through the shoulder. Then it's otherwise reported as through her chest, and otherwise reported as through her neck. The eventuality of it was that she died not long after being shot. There are other people who died. In fact, it's numbered as 7 people died in connection with the protest, and later amended to 9 people that died associated with the protest. Kevin D. Greeson supposedly died of a heart attack, collapsing on the sidewalk west of the Capitol on January 6. Roseanne Boyland appeared to have been crushed in the stampede of fellow rioters as they surged against the police. This was subsequently amended, and their cause of death was a drug overdose. Benjamin Phillips, the founder of pro-Trump website called Trumparuru, died of a stroke. Mr. Greenson and Mr. Phillips died of natural causes, the Washington Medical Examiner said in April, and amended that Miss Boland had died from drug overdose. Or accidental overdose. In the days and weeks after the riot, 5 police officers who had served at the Capitol on January 6 died. Officer D. Sicknick of the Capitol Police was attacked by the mob and initially reported as to have been trampled. He died on January 7th. It seems that he was pepper sprayed, but the medical examiner found no allergic reactions, and his death, per the medical examiner, was of natural causes. He died of strokes without signs of any trauma, injury. They concluded, though, that the strokes were subsequent to the trauma of the event. Officer Jeffrey Smith of the police department, he killed himself. And Officer Liebegood also died by suicide 4 days later. Yeah. Subsequently, 2 other police officers were reported. That was Officer Gunther Hashida and Kyle de Freitag. They also died by suicide. One really wonders why so many of these officers who committed suicide were associated with the event. The police agency have not classified the 4 total suicides as line-of-duty deaths that would provide for victim families with enhanced benefits. Washington law excludes suicide deaths from the line-of-duty designation. So though they try to link it, the officers won't get the benefits. Many of the officers were given honors of bravery and special tributes, golden tributes, awards. And the officer who shot Ashli Babbitt was cleared of all wrongdoing. Just to say, this was an event publicized way beyond the actuality of what happened, with no responsibility alluded to those who really should have protected the Capitol. Nancy Pelosi was advised, and her response was that she didn't believe it was a credible report. Oh well. For me, Ashli Babbitt is a martyr. She was unarmed, 5'2". Oh yeah, 35-year-old woman. Just protesting what everything in her screamed to believe. A rejection of a political process that was so unsavory and still exists. The culprits still linger. Justice has not been served. And so, I just want to remember Ashli Babbitt. She's a martyr, in my opinion. In the prime of her life, she was killed. If she made it to 45, she would still have been in the prime of her life. If she made it to 55, she would still have been in the prime of her life. And on and on. We're in the prime of our life. As long as we got that will to declare what is in our hearts. 2 cents more.